I've gone live. Put it down. Right now, how are you going to breathe that out?
I said, hang on.
The magic dragon over here.
The left comes out.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever the hell you are in the world, and welcome to Sidetrack, your sci-fi TV and movie channel. We have young Matthew with us. Say hello, Matthew.
Hello.
We have young Harris with us.
Howdy.
And we got Melvin, who's new. Hi, Melvin. Hi. You have the greatest name. I wish I was called Melvin. I'm like Jamie. Jamie's a stupid name. Melvin's an awesome name.
Jamie's common.
Yeah, exactly. You've got a cool name. Damn you. I've also, my girls can be a girl's name as well. And my brother found a boy's name, a name thing once, and it said Jamie. Used to be a boy's name. I'm like, oh, fuck's sake. But luckily, Jamie Oliver. Thank you, Jamie Oliver.
Yeah, at least you can say Melvin, because you can't say Sci-Fi Quest.
Sci-Fi Quest and Melvin. Howdy, Andrew. Howdy, Shelley. Howdy, Andrew. Batmo's in. Paul Malone is in. David Jerome is in, and loads of others. If you don't know Melvin, he appears in our comments regularly as Sci-Fi Quest. So give him a warm welcome.
Our comment section is going to be like severely dry tonight because he's not in there.
I was about to say, if you don't know Melvin, you do. It's
Jimmy J is also with us. That's a good name. And Kahar, who's a member. Thank you very much, Kahar. Welcome.
That sounds like the name of a Goa'uld.
Kahar.
It does sound like a Goa'uld name.
Let's get on with it, guys, because we've already got 45 people watching, which is amazing. Thank you so much. Just went up to 47, and they want to hear about what's going on with Stargate.
Do they?
I think so.
Right.
Oh no, sorry. Legally Blonde 3.
That's right.
That too.
Fuck Legally Blonde 3. Oh no,
Kahar means Kate, apparently.
Sorry?
Kahar equals Kate. That's what they've said. So
Okay.
Kahar is the Goa'uld name. Is the name of the Goa'uld. Kate is the name of the host.
Cool. Yeah, that's very true. And Mark's with us, and John's with us, and JR Casanova, and Melvin already. Right, so we know what's going on this week, guys. Yeah, so we've had a bit of a mad week. So it started off on Sunday night with a source emailing me and Matt saying, keep an eye on things, stuff's happening. Message this other person who works in marketing. I messaged the other person who worked in marketing, and they told me that their company had basically recommended to Amazon, as part of their consultancy thing, that they should, anything they get, anything they've got ready to announce it. Their basic argument was, look, all the other studios have come out of this quite badly, particularly Disney, Netflix, and Warner Brothers, even to a point, have come out of this really badly. You've pretty much come out of it unscathed. Take advantage, right? Mm-hmm. So that seemed to be where the rumor then shot around all the agents and things, because it was somebody that works at agents that told me. I saw Matthew's belly button there. Just like big news, breaking news. Just saw Matthew's belly button.
Do we have a graphic for that?
Yeah. We don't need that. It should be one of those. Where's the spoilers thing? So it then moved on from that a little bit, that I finally got in touch with the person that my initial person told me to get in touch with. Oh no, sorry. Through that, I then got in touch with somebody that I actually do know that works reasonably close to the PR and marketing internally at MGM. And they told me that they'd been ordered by executives to have a look at everything that they've got planned for the next 12 months. And they needed to report by the end of the week. So any sort of ways they're planning to market things, all the PR that they've got planned for them, they wanted a report done by the end of this week, which will be Friday.
Oh, cool.
I've had a little bit of an update on that, though. So apparently that didn't include Stargate. So apparently there is a plan on how to plan this. It was planned to go to San Diego Comic-Con. That was not included in the reports. My source has seen the reports today, and Stargate wasn't included. First of all, that's the first big bit of news. Good thing or bad thing?
I think I don't think it's anything to worry about. Comic-Con wasn't that long ago, so
Yeah, it was July or was it June?
if they've already planned it, yeah, the strikes happened. They didn't know how long they were going to last. If the strikes had lasted a year, then they probably would have to replan. But because it's been over relatively quickly, they're just like, yeah, just dust it off and we'll just push it out. That's what I think.
Melvin, what do you think, mate? Good thing or
I
bad
agree
thing?
with Matt. I do. I agree with Matt. There's nothing to be concerned about.
Yep.
I'm not for the sake of devil's advocacy. I'm kind of like very neutral on that, I guess. Where it probably is a nothing burger, but also the way studios tend to plan things out, or at least try to have things planned out. If it wasn't on the docket for that, it would you would think it would be on the docket on the next like poster standing right next to it, and like, all right, well, this is gonna be like here instead of here. Maybe the strikes did delay that, even being put on a docket somewhere, but you'd think that somebody would have some kind of semblance of knowing when it was wanting to be announced at least.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that is great.
Well, there's an alternative scenario here that I think we're missing out on a little bit. It could be not included because they've already done it. Because there's already a plan in place that doesn't need looking at.
Yeah.
Again,
that's what I meant with the Comic-Con thing. They've already done it. It's already done.
Well, I think because as soon as San Diego Comic-Con went through, I think they came up with a plan B.
Yeah.
And that plan B is what is already in place. For a couple of reasons, right? We've got the release date of the original 1994 movie of Stargate is October 29th.
Yes.
I think that's a possibility. That's a possibility. And I'm going to talk about why in a minute, but because I've had a long chat with my PR person today, who I have to say doesn't actually work in the PR department, which is why she doesn't. They could be he don't get to see everything. They get to see bits of things because of what they do. Because they more. No, I can't say more, but because of what they do, they only get to see bits of what happens, sort of thing. So it's the bit that gets to her. I'm just said it's a she. Fuck it. There's 90 people in that department probably. So she gets to see the bits that come to her, and then they bounce back. This is the person that told us about when Bad Robot pitched, because they literally was involved, sort of thing. So anyway, if there's a plan, it's not just though that October 29th is when the 1994 movie came out, which I think would be, they like these anniversaries when they announce these things, don't they? They like it to be like, oh, on this day 40 years ago. The game comes out between now and Christmas as well, and that's supposed to be in the next 6 weeks or so. Wouldn't the game do better if Amazon a week or two before announced a movie or a series?
Oh, big time.
100%. Get the hype up for the return of Stargate, and then people to whet their appetites, go play the game.
Yeah,
definitely.
But we've got one big problem with all of these theories.
Yeah.
Anybody want to take a stab and guess what the one big problem with all of these theories is?
Legally Blonde 3.
It is Legally Blonde 3, exactly.
No, it always is.
As long as they have Reese, there's no problem.
There's no problems. The actor strike is the problem.
Okay. That makes sense.
So,
but they are, as of today, meeting to discuss terms. So fingers crossed.
Yep.
The actors went on strike shortly after the writers' strike. They were basically following suit.
Yeah.
Now the writers are off strike. They're going to follow suit again. I can see it.
You hope.
Was it straight away, or was it like a few weeks or a month later?
It was about a month later.
About 2 months after. So we're hoping that doesn't.
Probably when we get to about a month after the writer's strike ends, that's when SAG will make their deal.
Yeah. I spoke to somebody today who's reasonably close to it. They said they're not in the room, but they're like in the conversation. They seem to think it's going well for the actors.
Nice.
And like I said, the person that I spoke to says these studios desperately want this done by the 1st of November, and they're talking. They said they're actually come back to it really almost reasonable, but the actors negotiating team have like succeeded. They've sort of backed off of a couple of areas that the studios. So the studios were like, okay, if we can just both come out of this with a bit of, with a bit of pride, sort of thing. And this doesn't cost us too much. They basically told them what the red line is. This is how much money we're willing to spend on this, and no more. And the actors are sort of getting the sense that, oh yeah, okay, there needs to be a bit of give and take here. So I'm told that he says Friday we could get something really, really positive. It's getting close. So we'll see what happens. But obviously it only takes one thing to disagree on, and it can throw it all out the window. But he seems really confident.
And if there's anything to disagree on, there's one thing: AI.
Yeah, apparently the AI thing's done. That was agreed ages ago.
Mm-hmm. Residual seems like it's the hard thing. It was the weird thing for writers. I don't know if y'all seen the writer stuff, but it's a little funky. It's a little funky on both ends. I don't think anybody's happy, which tends to be a good deal if nobody's happy. Compromise has been met at that point.
Yeah. So we've got the game. We've got the movie, 1994 movie anniversary. I think those are two big points. I do wonder whether the plan is already in place. I think probably because of the game and because of the, and these other things are coming up. I do think there's a problem that the actor strike is in place because they won't have a leading man. So I think we're only going to get an announcement of we're doing it. I don't think we'll get anything more than that. So I was talking to, I said this person that works very close to the PR, and I spoke to the person that works at the PR company that consults, and they said it's almost impossible for them to do a big public hurrah, which will get me onto Gate World, right? So today, Gate World have released a story saying that look at New York Comic Con, Amazon do have a 2-hour big slot. And they've teased. I'll just read what they've said. Blah 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 blah. Join Prime Video at New York Comic Con's Empire Stage for a special presentation featuring exclusive first looks and never before seen footage of returning fan favorite series and highly anticipated new series. Ooh. Now, I mean, Amazon Gatewell have took that to mean could that be Stargate? And yeah, I mean. Why not?
It does sound like it.
Yeah,
potentially. Yeah, definitely.
I'm told it's almost certainly not. It's going to be Amazon TV shows. It's going to be stuff that they'd already started filming. They're talking about that's then got put on pause. So I think is it series 4 of The Boys?
The next one, yeah.
Potentially bits of the next Rings of Power. There's a couple of other series as well that they basically already started to film and they're planning to sort of show little sneak peeks of to get a bit of excitement going. It's going to be Amazon TV shows. And he says that the important thing, the person I was speaking to today, is basically said, I'll tell you what, I've done none of my real job today. None. I'm a social worker. I actually have responsibilities. None of it today. I died and I wouldn't even know. Funny joke, and I did my job properly. I have breaks. He's basically said the important thing that's not mentioned there is it doesn't say Amazon and MGM.
Okay, I was about to say, because do we know if it's going to actually be on Prime? Have they like fully announced it's going to be on Prime, or is it still possibly an Epix MGM Plus?
The last time I spoke to person that actually Matt kind of knows that stopped talking to us because they got a bit worried about their job. They were quite close to Michael Wright, and Michael Wright apparently there was a screaming match. He came out of a meeting with a bunch of people from Amazon and kicked a bin across the room. He was furious because he wanted Stargate franchise for MGM Plus. That was always the plan, and they were arguing. And this is one of the things Mark Fergus was getting annoyed about with Amazon at Christmas time, because he was basically saying, "Where is this TV show going? I need to know what you're planning to do with it and what the rough budget's going to be, because I will then tailor the show to what you actually want me to do." So if it's gone in MGM Plus, it ain't getting $10 million an episode. If it's got on Prime, it might. I think it wouldn't have been that much. It would have been more like 7. I think 10 million is what he was asking for. They offered 5. I think they'd have agreed somewhere in the middle. But if it's MGM Plus, you're getting 4, and that's it, sort of thing. So he just wanted to know those answers. Apparently, though, as well, they were so convinced that this was the MGM Plus was building a lot of its plans around Stargate. and actually, like, you know, from a business point of view sort of thing, they were expecting to get this big franchise. And that's one of the reasons why he was so pissed off, because he wasn't getting any promises. So at the moment, it really depends on what sort of level Amazon decide to aim this at. If they spend $8-9 million an episode, it ain't going on MGM Plus. Or not first, anyway.
Yeah.
It'll go on Prime. The other thing is, it does seem that all of the new franchises, and this we've known this probably for a year now, is that Amazon have cut MGM out of it. And they're saying MGM, this is why Brad Wright isn't involved, because Amazon have gone, no, we're doing this. So MGM can carry on with all the stuff it's already doing, but it ain't doing anything new. Franchises, anyway. So they're doing it themselves. They're keeping it eternal. So the question is, do Amazon consider Stargate to be an Amazon Prime commodity? And in which case, that's why they've not mentioned MGM, and why they could maybe announce at New York Comic Con.
I think they are looking at it as, because they obviously bought MGM.
Yeah.
It's just Amazon now. In that email they sent you, they called themselves Amazon Pictures. They didn't say anything about Amazon and MGM Pictures. It was Amazon Pictures.
Yeah.
So that tells you all you need to know. It's an Amazon Pictures production produced by Amazon.
To be fair, they said at MGM and Amazon Pictures. They did say that in the email. I've got it written down next to me. At MGM and Amazon Pictures, we strive to create exciting and new TV and movies. So they did. You got to remember as well.
But I still think that they're absorbing. So
Amazon own MGM. MGM own Stargate, and these companies merged as they were. So even though Amazon does control Stargate and makes all the decisions, they can't just release it as an Amazon product, because it's not. It's an MGM product. So there are some technicalities around that.
But surely they can, because all they have to do is they have to ask permission to themselves, and they'll say yeah, and they can. Like,
yeah, but weirdly, I know it sounds
black
and white, but it isn't. I know it sounds black and white, but it isn't. There's a merger agreement between the two companies, and that effectively means Amazon owns MGM, but it's more complicated than that.
But it's also filled with Amazon employees, because all the MGM employees got sacked or left. So, like, it is Amazon.
That agreement is the only reason the MGM office even exists, isn't it? As a result of the
Melvin, talk a bit closer. I don't know why I'm doing that. Talk a bit close to your microphone. Talk a bit close to your microphone for me. I need to stop. What were you saying, bud?
About the MGM deal. That was, well, the agreement. That was the only reason why MGM even still exists as an office, isn't it?
Yeah, they'd have probably gone. Yeah, they'd probably been liquidated by now. But they've still got a world headquarters in Hollywood. Exactly. They still have massive staff, but their staff was decreased significantly after Amazon. They just said basically all the existing contracts were not renewing them. So talking to the internal person, they said there's basically 5 different things they think about when doing an announcement like this. So they do an event release, a Comic-Con.
Yeah.
They do just a press release where they'll just release a statement saying blah. They may do a documentary, so they'll always think about, is it a big thing? Is there a thing? So for RoboCop, there's probably going to be a documentary that comes out just before around the movie release about the original movie and blah blah blah. They will always look at doing things like a re-release. So can they get the original thing on DVD or Blu-ray or 4K? Can we do a 4K version for Prime? Can we do something like that? And they always like to coincide with some sort of anniversary or date or something. So they'd like a reason to announce on a day, right? So that's either could be Amazon Day, when they do the Amazon Day. Disney,
14.
Star Trek always announces stuff on. They've got like 2 or 3 anniversaries, like got Star Trek Day, Federation Day, and things like this, and they announce stuff on those days. So if we look at that, I think an event release is reasonably unlikely because they haven't got an actor. what do you? It's the same question, isn't it? What do you do for all this other stuff? Amazon Prime stuff that they filmed a bit of, and they've had to go on pause. They can get people excited because they can show a bit of unseen footage. It said it in the statement, unseen bits. For Stargate, what do you do?
That's where I'm wondering, because if they can't even walk out with a director, that hurts. It doesn't necessarily hurt like just a general announcement, but it does lessen the impact of it in a few different ways. Where if they walked out, maybe not guns blazing with like a whole cast and crew, like, look what we got, we're ready. The second this strike's over, we're ready. That would be nice. It's just not applicable here. And if they're not able to even walk out there with a director, showrunner, maybe if they had like an executive producer walk out there, if they brought Brad Wright and like like Fergus or somebody out there, then that would be nice. But I think that's the only way that it retains gravitas or not. I hate to say it, but we live in a 24/7 news cycle. It's going to be gone within 24 hours if it's just a simple little announcement. We need something with weight, I think. As much as it sucks. I heard someone compare that Punisher season 2, whenever it was coming out on Netflix, Punisher season 1. A lot of people loved it. It was amazing. Punisher season 2, really good. But like, it's the whole Netflix model. Like, if you put everything out at once, you have 24 hours to talk about it. 48 hours maybe. And then something new's out. Everyone's binged that entire season. It's not that week-to-week kind of thing. And I guess it's kind of similar in this sense where it's not like a week-to-week, but it just needs that weight that just stays in our mind. You know, we need that something to linger. I don't know if that would have it, besides just our general excitement.
Yeah. All they need for an announcement is a video. Obviously, it's just going to be CGI at this point, but it would just be...
All they need for an announcement is Stargate is back. Watch it this day.
Yeah.
Panning shots. People are going to watch it no matter what.
You can see the chevrons locking. Like, we maybe see like 3 locking or so, and then whoosh.
You know what I could see them doing, though? We expect them to make a big Stargate announcement. What they could do at New York Comic Con, or they could just release a video of everything they've got coming. They could just go Amazon 2024, bam, 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 and then there's loads of stuff. And one of the things, and then they'll do it cryptically, knowing that then we'll go crazy. What does this mean? What does this mean? And all they have to do is show a chevron, or show a gate, or show a or something. And maybe they could do it like that. So they'll do like
with a mysterious figure,
non-announcement sort of thing.
Yeah, that'd be a smart like tease.
Yeah,
yeah.
Like you're looking from the back side of the gate, so you can kind of see through it, but you can't make out who it is.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, why not?
That'd be cool.
If they were going to do something at New York Comic Con, I think that's more likely than a big Stargate announcement. That they'll do something cryptic. And that's the sort of thing that these sort of people love doing. So that's possible. And again, if that's what they were doing, that's maybe why Stargate hasn't been involved in this, because that would have had to have been done already. Because it's next week. So
just a little quick, you know?
Yeah. Literally a week on Friday, isn't it? So but those things that think, like I say, not having no actor, I think makes it really difficult to make a big, splashy Comic-Con thing. But then what they do is next year at San Diego Comic-Con, they have a big Stargate panel. All the actors lined up, the director, everybody, because they've started filming.
And they'll know people will come because of it anyway, because they've already pre-announced something.
And by then they could have a replica of the new appearance of the gate as the backdrop.
Yeah,
that they could even have a teaser trailer.
Stargate is going to look like itself.
Yeah, and actually by then they could even have some early footage. They could even show a few scenes and things and make a big. That's what make a big deal out of it, and it's coming. I mean, in a way, why make a big deal of it? Because it's going to be at least 2 years away. It doesn't matter what you do. People are going to, we won't. We'll go crazy, but other people will forget about it within 2 days anyway. You may as well just do a press release going, yeah, we are doing it. Stop talking about it. We're doing it.
We won't shut up about it. So there's always going to be someone talking about it no matter what. So someone's going to hear something, and we're just going to go on and on and on about it.
Yeah, we've spoken about it for 2 years already, so another 2
years.
We
won't let them forget, will we?
We won't let anyone forget. Stargate videos I've done the other day. and it made me sad. It's hundreds.
I've actually avoided Stargate videos for a while. I've got to start doing them though.
Yeah, well, I wish I had them. I do worry sometimes I talk about this too much, but then something will happen and I go, well, I've got to talk about that. I'll just talk about this one thing, and then I won't talk about anything. I won't talk about Stargate again for a week, at least a week, and then something else will pop into my brain.
At least on video.
Yeah. Harris, if we do that thing that we were thinking about with that thing that we were thinking about, it's exactly the same time as the New York thing. So when Amazon are on stage doing their bit,
The thing that he's on about the thing when I was on Discord to you and I got dead excited.
Yeah.
And I have no idea what to do.
The thing that we could be live.
We can't say anything because it's not happened.
I know.
I know.
I was on Discord to you and I was like,
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm with you. Okay, I'm there.
Well, it could mean that we're live in a very special place anyway. If this was to be announced at New York Comic Con, which would actually, in a way, annoy me because I'm going to immediately go, bye, person we were on with. I'm going live on Sidetrack, so screw this. But
in a very special place in all of your hearts.
Yeah, exactly. There is still quite a lot of division at Amazon and MGM though, which is
it seems like it.
It seems to me within MGM there's a big division between. They don't really care if they do a TV series or a movie, but it's like Brad Wright or not Brad Wright, and that's the division. There's a very small group. I've got a big group of very loyal people who go, well, let's just do it with Brad for the love of God, and that includes like Michael Wright and people like that. And then there's another side of people going like, no, the fresh blood doing it with Amazon, doing this way is a good idea. Let's do this, and let's just crack on with it. But with an Amazon, more alarmingly, there is a division between. Stargate isn't well. Let's do Stargate. Stargate's great. Let's do Sleeping Giant of sci-fi. But there is a group within Amazon that like Stargate isn't big enough. It's not popular enough.
They're not looking at numbers.
Yeah, it won't be as popular as they think. So
I will stream it 1,000 times personally.
Well, the numbers don't lie. Yeah, the numbers are not there. It's the third largest sci-fi franchise, and sci-fi. I mean, the two biggest are giants, And hey, if it's the sleeping giant, it's still there. It might not be an 80-foot tall giant like Star Wars or Star Trek might be, but it's like a 50, 60-foot tall giant or something. It's a big one.
It's definitely the third out of the sci-fi franchises. It's number 3. Even now, even after it's not been on screens for 12 years, it's still the third.
And that's the big number.
Number one, though, because it's the most expansive of all of them.
Star Wars and Star Trek are the most popular, aren't they, by numbers and everything else?
Yeah. But
well, according to Disney, with Star Wars, we like to.
Come here, Mickey. Let's poke Mickey.
Yeah,
you're lying about the numbers. Ashoka's good. I'm enjoying Ashoka.
I did enjoy Ashoka.
It was good.
But they were is it not over, is it? That wasn't the last episode.
It ended last night.
Oh, I haven't quite watched the end. I've got to quite watch the end. So surely the Beardy character, last time I saw him, he was still alive. So he's not. Oh man.
If we don't, okay, we can give you a not spoiler, and it'll make it.
We're talking Star Wars Sunday anyway. No, we're talking Star Wars Sunday anyway. So don't worry about it.
This is a Stargate stream, damn it.
Damn right.
At least it's got Star in it.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the stars.
Davey B.
Speaking of, A Star is Born.
I just want to ask you if you agree with this, by the way. That I said, like in the video when I was talking about how all this was being done, that I said it's 6.9 chevrons locked. Dave, who's one of our members, and he says it's chevron 6 is locked, chevron encoded. Do we think that's probably where we're at? I thought it was quite a nice way of putting it.
That's where I hope we're at.
Yeah. And then if they like push it back anymore, we can say chevron will not engage.
Yeah, screw it.
Chevron is frozen.
I'm eloping. Stuff it. What do you guys think about this, though, in generally, though? Does it... There's no smoke without fire? Is that fair to say?
Right.
I don't think we'd have heard, like, the person who messaged us and then subsequently the people you've spoken to about all of this. I don't think we would have heard what we heard had something not happened. So
yeah, even if
I'm not worried.
100% sure what it is, we're not 100%
Yeah,
sure
there's movement somewhere, and there's obviously enough movement so these people actually find out. So it's probably further along than even they know. So I mean, I'm not worried.
I mean, as a result of the email you got, Jay, I mean, I got a feeling that they're shifting gears, they're moving further, but they're just being too secretive. They don't want anyone to know a thing about it, like other streaming services. They're just being quiet. They're not engaging us, you know.
No, and they're gonna be coy. They are gonna be coy.
Yeah.
Because I have to admit, I have emailed MGM directly, and I just sort of said very nicely, if there is an announcement, if you give me a couple of hours heads up, I will have an amazing video ready, and I will talk about it, and I will big you all up, and I will tell you how lovely MGM are being, and I'll do my best for you. I'm here for you. Just tell me a few hours before. And they just email back, thank you very much.
Thank you. Hey, at least you got a response.
I'm like, I'll take that.
What they did is they patted you on the head and shooed you away.
Pretty much. Thank you.
They're there.
The
Bye-bye.
Could have ignored my email altogether because I knew it was cheeky from beginning with. I even started with, this is cheeky and I know you can't say anything. But
can you at least confirm this?
Yeah, just tell me it's coming. Let's something in suspense. This is killing us.
Just dangle a carrot. Something.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, Amazon responded to you, huh? Technically, right?
And Amazon employees, but yeah, I suppose so.
And sort of confirmed rumors to a degree. Well, definitely.
They've confirmed a couple of things. They've confirmed movie and series. They confirmed that.
Yeah. So that, and I guess, yeah. Well, there's got to be something coming because, I mean, you quoted it earlier, and I was a little cheeky in their comments, which we'll go back to a little bit. But Gate World just did a video, and they literally talked like my cheeky comment was that they just did a bullet point of everything that you've talked about for the past about 3 or 4 months. And they've just bullet pointed it all in one video.
Yeah.
Even longer. But really, that just seems like my comment in there was a double confirmation seems good for Stargate, you know? And that's like 2 confirmations. They wait till things are like official and secure. So to them, this is also secure, which if they're waiting that long to put something out and put it out with confidence like that, okay, we like to deal in rumors and we talk about things as they happen for sure. But they wait for a long time. So if it's both of us, I think
David from Gateworld definitely has a journalistic attitude with these things. He is very, and if you read the article that went with the video and you listen to the video, he's very, very careful about what he confirms or denies. We hear this, we hear that, and he's very, very careful with it. I wish he would throw in the odd Sidetrack have been awesome, but they don't, and they prefer not to do that.
He did do that in the comment, though. He responded and said, Sidetrack put all of this out first. So
I like Mark's comment just now.
What's that?
Ooh.
Okay.
So you need to pitch exactly the
Ronin grocery store.
He needs to pitch a tent right there.
There you go. So, Batmo, if you want questions answered, by the way, super chats. Just saying. Even though I'm going to answer this one. Do you prefer the theatrical or streaming movie? You guys go. What do you think? Theatrical or streaming movie?
Personally, I would watch streaming because I already pay for it and I don't have to spend anything extra. But because it's Stargate, I would buy a ticket to the theater. So
guys?
But yeah, I think I would prefer streaming.
Melvin, you go, because I got an ultimatum here.
Ooh.
Well, I would definitely prefer streaming, but if it's a cinematic movie, then I'd go to the cinema. I'd pay the money. I'd pay the good money to go see it, and I'll take a drill to take the seat home with me afterwards for the memories.
I've got a devil's advocate, y'all.
It's like, come on, cinema boy.
If Amazon or MGM puts this on a streaming service as a film, if it's a streaming movie and it's not an actual film, say goodbye to Stargate. It's not coming back. Streaming movies, first of all, in our minds, because we like streaming stuff. Like, we'll go hop on there, we'll watch it, still have a good time with it nonetheless. But no matter who you are, connotatively, your brain is like, that streaming movie is a TV movie, which is not the same quality as an actual film. It feels like they don't care about it as much. It would feel like they didn't really put the time and effort that they could have and probably should have into it. And it would feel like a complete disservice to Stargate and the fandom as a whole. And it would end up being a nothing burger. Like, the best streaming movies that have come out in recent memory are like Extraction 2. But you see any Netflix release how much money they made off of that? Or how much money they didn't make off of that, better probably said. Same thing with Enola Holmes. That was a big one, right? That was one of your biggest movies from a streaming movie standpoint. You hear anybody talking about that? It didn't make them money. We can guarantee that, I think it would bite Stargate completely. It would bite the head off of Stargate. There wouldn't be any direction to go after that. It might be easier to toss a streaming TV show after that, but not as many people would. Maybe not as many people wouldn't want it, but it would be starting with the bad taste at that point. Because one of the things that petered out Stargate in a lot of ways is the TV movies. I mean, I'm coming from a hindsight's 2020 perspective, but if they would have taken 2 or 3 more months on each one of those TV movies and put them in cinema, we would still be watching. Stargate wouldn't have left our TVs.
That was a different world, though, wasn't it? Economically.
Well, the thing about the TV movies is they were basically the next season's cut down to the movie.
Yeah,
that's why it felt. That's why they would that way. So
the first TV movie was just the finale of season 10 as well.
Yeah,
it was just the last 2 episodes, but DVD sales were brilliant at that point, so that's why they did it.
But connotatively,
right? So Matt, you say streaming, but you would go to cinema. What do you think the budget for Extraction 2 was? Netflix's biggest movie probably last year or this year.
It's got decent, huh?
It was decent for streaming. I'll give you a guess. 55 million, 65 million, or 85 million.
I was going to guess 70. I'm going to guess 65. Matt, sorry, go.
I'd say 85.
Because he'd probably say that's what it is.
Was 65 million. Thank you, Kerry, for the contribution, but stop it. I'll be back to your DM soon, promise. Yes, you wanted to tell me something. What was it you wanted to tell me? I forgot about that. Yes, message, say hi. 65 million. And that was their big movie this year. That was their big summer movie this year. 65 million for a cinematic theatrical release.
And it was a good movie. It looked great as well. But it's the same thing as Punisher. 48 hours. It's out of your zeitgeist. You lose it all.
Stephanie Barrett makes a good point that. Oh, look at Prey. Last minute, they started thinking, "Oh, Prey, this is good. Should we put it in cinemas?" And it was very quickly they were like, "We can't. We've done." It wasn't that they didn't want to. Disney was just like, so the director and stuff were like, "No, this has been. We've done everything for streaming. We've done everything for the small screen." We can't it'll look shit if we put it at the cinema. We're going to have to spend another $30 million because we're going to have to redo a load of the CGI. It'll look terrible. We can't do it. And that was the main reason why then Disney, when they were looking at it and all of the early test screens were doing great, why they didn't divert it into the cinema. And it was because they just knew it would look awful. And it's different when it's to the cinema. It just is. But put it this way, if this is a streaming movie and we get a budget of 50 million, that would be amazing. And to be honest, that would be quite a big budget for a streaming movie. If it goes to the cinema and they do it from the beginning, they say it's going to be a cinema movie, we'll get a budget of more like 90 million dollars.
Which
Does
the
that-
creator, I don't know if y'all have seen that or not just yet, but the creator was made for $80 million, and it's the best looking film of this year. Way more so than like Fast X that spent $350 million or any Marvel movie that spent $300 million, whatever. 80 million wouldn't be bad. 90 million wouldn't be bad if they have someone like, I mean, they could hire Gareth Edwards as director. I wouldn't be mad, but
What's the bad idea?
someone capable of holding back, I guess, and putting the budget in places required, I guess, is the best way to say that.
That's what we need. We need something that's going to look. They're going to have to have. If it goes to the theatre, though, they're going to have the big CGI sequences, the big action sequences. It's going to have to be a theatre movie. If it's a streaming movie, on the flip side of this argument, we might get something that feels more like Stargate. We don't necessarily need. They don't need to go as far with it. If that makes sense, with a story.
I agree with you there. It's just they want a new audience, and that's not how you get a new audience. That's how you get your old audience to come in and be really excited, and they would have all of us there. And I wouldn't say I'm not excited for that at all, because I'd be pumped. But that's not how you get a new audience. Maybe a new audience over the next decade, but they want money now, which is going to keep fueling these projects continuously. So I think they need it.
Stop it! Carry it.
As long as you keep saying hire Harris, Amazon, please.
Hashtag hire Harris.
Yeah, you just want to hire Harris so you can fire him.
Yeah.
Hey, as long as they send me a couple paychecks, I'll be happy for a little bit.
This is presidential. You're fired.
Who said anything about pay?
Good point.
You would turn up for like sandwich money. It's like, can I have some money for a Coke? I did say I got invited to I genuinely
Turn
got
up to
invited.
coconut water, no problem.
Yeah, I got invited to my second Comic-Con about 3 weeks ago.
Are you going?
No, it's next summer and it's in Quebec. Right. So I just said, do you know I'm based in Britain? And they were like, oh no, sorry, we didn't. I'm so sorry about that. Would you be interested in? And I say, my expenses would be significant. And they're like, oh, we deliver lunch.
We'll maybe pick you up from the airport if you're lucky on a horse.
Apparently it's just like a YouTubers panel. So it's just like, no, I'm sorry. I'd love to, but no, I'm sorry. I'm not flying to Quebec for an afternoon. But thank you so much for it's the second time. My other one was Albuquerque. I think it was Albuquerque. I think it was an Albuquerque Comic-Con that I invited like a year ago. You what?
That's where Saul's from.
Well, yeah, there. But again, I'm not going to Albuquerque. I'm just not going. So why can't I get invited to one in Britain? For the love of God,
You don't just want to be invited to the Comic-Con. You want to be invited to host the Comic-Con.
Well, I'd sit on a panel happily.
Let her host it. Full stop.
Yeah, I might have to stay at yours if I'm going to Quebec for the Comic-Con. And seriously, if you put any more money on that thing, we're going to fall out, and I'm going to block.
Yeah, but have you noticed each time it's got lower and lower?
Yeah. Actually, that's the point. She loves us less than she did initially.
No problem. You can't do a 50p super chat.
No, actually, I'm not. No. Kerry, forget I said that because I know what she'll do now. Forget I said it.
Yeah. No, if there's any,
oh, it's too low. It is 500.
You wish.
So, what was I saying? Yeah, I can't get one in London or Birmingham or something. Or there's a Comic-Con 10 miles, like 12 miles from my house. I can't get invited to that, but I can get invited to Albuquerque anyway.
The one in Telford, like soon.
Arrange your own.
It's the Welsh Comic-Con, even though it's in England.
So when they do the SGU Comic-Con specifically for SGU in Telford, are you going dressed up as Colonel Telford?
No, I'm going in charge. I'm going to host it.
Oh, okay, all right.
God, come on. I will go and just do all the health and safety stuff. It's fine. So, theatrical movie or streaming movie, then does like the idea of like the change in budget, the fact that it hasn't got quite the same oomph behind it. Does that change your mind, Melvin or Matt, about which you'd prefer to see?
No, not at all. See, I think the higher the budget for the movie, the better the quality set pieces we're going to get for the show.
Mhm.
And
There is
I
that.
think that is probably the best reason for them to do a cinematic movie in the first place. To set the stuff up. To get the
We
SGC
believe
built.
it's gonna.
Yeah,
We believe
exactly.
whatever happens on the cinema will bleed into the series, don't we? So that's
Yeah.
what seems to be the idea, anyway.
Yeah, well, it's going to act as the pilot episode anyway for any new show. So it has to bleed into it.
For me, the only downside of a theatre release is it'll take about 6 months longer. We'll have to wait a bit longer. That's basically the downside.
Didn't they actually say that the show will be soon after the movie release?
Mm-hmm.
So it could be in a matter of a couple of weeks, maybe a few months after the movie's released, that we get the first episode. Because they don't have to stop filming if they finish the movie.
I think the movie would stream. I think they'd go to the cinema, and then about 6 months after that, we could get the series. And banner. Right? How do I banner? Harris is very
You will
talented.
never be banned.
No, okay. We really do appreciate this.
Carrie
Thank you,
sitting
Kerry.
in a
Please,
tree.
seriously, don't do it.
Maybe you should start. You should actually set up a banner that says "Kerry, stop super chatting."
Yeah, but you already support us loads, Kerry, and we really, really appreciate everything you already do for the channel. Thank you so much. All you other people who don't do anything, you should be.
Look at Carrie. Carrie's like the best person ever. I'm just saying.
Yeah, she's lovely.
One of the top 3.
Top 3 people.
Ever.
3 of us here. So one of us is okay. Whatever.
I'm taking myself.
Your mom and your dad. And so what you're saying is you like Kerry much more than you like all of us. That's what you're saying.
I plead the 5th. That's in this country.
That girl you were sleeping with most of I didn't think of that. I was going to mock him for some girl you were sleeping with. She's on Brother's.
Anyway, plead the 5th doesn't work in the UK, so you're outnumbered.
Yeah, we're not allowed. In this country, if you don't say anything that you then rely on later. Kerry, I'm not joking. Don't do it again. I can't give it you back. So stop. And all you're actually doing is giving YouTube loads of stop it. Not joking. Don't do it again. Thank you so much. Don't do it again. I'll just all give it to charity if you keep doing it. And I'll give it to a charity.
Point again, isn't it? It's one of the points of doing it.
Yeah, I'll give it to a charity she hates.
What
charity? Anyone loves a charity?
that's a question, isn't it? What charity?
That's a great question.
What charity will Kerry hate? She's Canadian. She loves everybody. Like Nazi Party Retirement Fund? Is that a thing?
No, it's not.
Oh, if they're retired, then they're not Nazis anymore, right?
No, that's a conundrum. Good point.
Just saying.
We hate Canadians charity fund. That's
well,
probably
we love Canadians.
Somebody hates Canadians. Somebody hates French. Nice.
We only hate the Canadians that think they're French.
Oh yeah, the French Canadians. So I'm sure there's somebody that's anti.
The ones in Quebec. Watch out.
Yeah. That's another reason why I can't go to Quebec.
Precisely.
What's that joke? I think we mentioned a couple weeks ago that joke. I only hate 2 things: intolerance and the Belgians or the French or something like that. Anyway, RDA is a Canuck. There you go.
Yes,
and we love him as well.
Yes, we do. We do love MacGyver.
Don't ask for beer money. Thank you very much. And whenever we do these lives,
they want beer money. They want whiskey money.
I got drunk when I was about 19 on a bottle of Jack Daniels. I can't even smell it now. I mean, the vomiting was projectile, and I can't even smell it. I really struggle.
That's me with Fireball.
Oh no, I can't do it. It smells just man. I love tequila though. Give me a bottle of tequila. I'm a happy boy.
No, I had that.
It's all good if you haven't got a candle lying around during a power cut.
I'm gonna beat Kerry.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kerry, so much. We really appreciate it. But you can just put comments on, and I'll put them up from now on. Okay. So, where do we feel we are? How confident are we? Do you think? Right, tell me what. What's our confidence for New York Comic Con? Go around saying, nah, maybe. Melvin?
I mean, I'd prefer if it was, because it's going to be like on the world stage, kind of like it'll get videoed, it'll get clipped, it'll go viral on the internet. So I kind of hope that, but
out of 7 chevrons, then come on, we'll score it out of 7. How many chevrons confident are you?
6.
Sorry, for New York Comic Con.
Incoming wormhole.
Oh, for New York Comic Con. Okay, 5.
Really? Like, that's high.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I think there's a very good chance it could happen, and I'd like it to, but I don't know. As long as it's sometime this month, I don't care. As long as it's sometime this year, I don't care.
Yeah, me, really, to be honest.
I just want it soon.
Out of 7. Out of
I
7
couldn't really
chevrons.
gauge it like that. I couldn't really gauge it like that because I think it's too soon for anything.
I invited you here for exactly this point. You're ruining the whole video. You'll never return. I wasn't giving you a choice. This is the fucking democracy.
This is that Walking Dead scene. Rick's like, "This is not a dictator. This is not a democracy.
This is a dictatorship, and I am your."
It's that rare time when a first chevron doesn't lock. There you go. Does that work?
No, just pick a number between 1 and 7. You're holding
7
last now, Melvin.
1 then.
1 chevron for New York Comic Con.
Yeah, 1 chevron. It's too soon. They haven't, with the writer strike and the SAG-AFTRA strike, there's not been enough time for them to really do anything, to set anything up. They can talk about the stuff that they had in production or were working on before, but during the strike, when everything started picking up speed, and then we had to wait. So I don't think it's going to happen so soon. No way.
Yeah. How about you, Harrison?
For New York, I'd either say, I'd either give it a 4 out of 7, and then give Amazon Prime Day, October 13th, 14th, a 3 out of 7, or I'd give it a 3 out of 7 for the New York and a 2 out of 7 for Prime Day. I'm indecisive between those two.
Well, they're within a few days of each other as well, to be fair. So they're like 3 days apart or something. So
I think it'll be the SAG strike ending that's really that thing. And even with, because I'm with you, Melvin, they don't necessarily have a whole bunch of things they can jump out there with. And I think it would hurt them if they jumped out there too much and didn't have that weighted thing. But I like what Matt was talking about earlier. Like, if they just tease something. And that's why I think the Amazon Day would be almost as applicable as New York Comic Con, if they're just teasing something, like just seeing a little chevron light up real quick. Like, then that's more applicable. They don't have to actually like say like it's coming back, but they don't actually have to say the words for us, kind of deal. And
that's
how about a looking sound, the sound of a chevron looking as they walk on stage.
Oh yeah,
just
to hit the ground running, to get the momentum right after the strike.
I was just going to say, though, New York Comic Con, though, would you be a little bit more confident if they just did not an announcement, but a teaser? Would you feel that was more?
I feel like that's what he's saying anyway.
I'm sending Kerry a T-shirt now. Damn it! You've paid for a T-shirt, Kerry. Now stop it. Okay. I would say if there's an announcement or whether they just tease something, I would say that's a bit different. I would argue I'm maybe like 3 chevrons for like an announcement, but I'd give like 4 chevrons for them to say that they could tease something. I'd be a little, if they're going to do something, I'd believe that a little bit more because of what's been set up. I think they could go 2024, Amazon Prime, boom, and then it'll be like RoboCop, a bunch of other stuff we've probably never heard of and don't care about. And then there'll be and there'll be some sort of Stargate thing mixed in there, and they'll just, and then that'll be it. Lights down, end of the thing. I could see that working, and then that'd make everybody go crazy over thingy. Yes, Kerry, I will send you a shirt. keep calm and watch Stargate. Do you want that one? We'll talk about it later.
Would Kerry prefer a shirt or a hoodie?
Shut up! She hasn't paid that much. What's that money? See how much those hoodies cost?
Yeah, I have.
Free.
I've seen it.
Yeah. They're not cheap. So that's not my fault, by the way. I actually make virtually no money on all that merchandise. I put it at virtually like the minimum price. They say like sell it at this money, and I'm like, and make like $11 a thing. And I'm like, I probably should because I would have made some money off the merch. But instead, I try and get it like I make like $2 for everything that's sold.
What we need to do
all on there.
find
I'm just not wearing it
company.
from work. Normally we
What we
wear
need to
them.
do is find a printing company who will print all the shirts and the hoodies, and then we sell them at profit. And it'll be way cheaper.
That's Vistaprint.
It's a large investment.
When Stargate gets announced, I'm going to do something where I'm in an iron about whether it'll be a free
Run up the
giveaway.
street naked.
Yes. No. Quit it. That's when we hit 100,000 subscribers. I might
Run off a bridge into a river naked. There you go.
Yeah.
It'll be the quickest
something
100k to
spectacular.
0 you've ever seen.
Yeah. Channel banned instantly. Oh, I got my belly button out. Matt did that. We were fine. So,
Yeah, but look at me.
Sidetrack underwear. Put the gate on the back.
I
the
know
old...
where this is going. No. Stop now. No. No.
Yeah, don't mention that part.
But
No.
but
I will do something though with merch and stuff and do something that's a bit, because it's great to do it to Teespring because it's really easy on my part. I can just do a design, I can put it out there, and it's great. But I think I'm going to do, when it gets announced, I might do something, where I'll maybe print off a bunch, give them away, or something to celebrate that's finally been freaking announced. But we'll do something. Yeah, Dave B just went there, and I'm not doing it. I'm just no.
We've already plugged the merch enough.
Okay, so announcement by Christmas. Are we more confident about that?
yeah,
David
7
Bowie,
on
isn't
that.
it?
Like an announcement, or just
Announced, we know it's happening. I actually think if they do a teaser at New York Comic Con, we'll get a proper announcement within about a week or so anyway, because they've basically said it, and then they will release the boring statement of when and blah blah blah, and they'll have to start doing that anyway, because they'll have to start thinking about stuff will start appearing on IMDb.
Yeah,
so they'll have no choice. We're forgetting that the source that I speak to over at one of the major talent agencies seems to think at least a director was being signed up to something this week, and he's sure it was Amazon, and he thinks it's MGM, but he's sure it's Amazon. So that could be that they're rushing to get that done, because they're going to drag him out in front of San Diego Comic Con. I don't think that's the case, but that it could be.
See, I'm with you. That makes sense, but I'm not necessarily on like the train where if it's not announced by New York Comic Con, that we'll get it by Christmas. I think by then you might as well let it go into the new year. Let these things that have kind of like lost their place with the strikes kind of going on, let that kind of pass. Let all that kind of happen, and then late January, early February, early March, something like that, after that first quarter's done, Stargate takes hold kind of deal. And that way they might actually have more to announce, more people to walk out there with, something of the sort. I don't know. Holidays is a great time to announce things, of course, but they're also chock full of so many different things going on where no matter what you announce in that time, it's going to be diluted just from the sheer amount of everything going on in that time period, in that November, December type of season. Early year might just be the good thing to like, all right, well, now there's nothing going on. What could there be? Well, here's some Stargate, and
yeah. I just think I think Stargate is in a funny position for Amazon, because I mean, how did they announce Rings of Power? That was just a statement, wasn't it? I mean, they didn't do a big stage thing for that, and that's the biggest
It
thing
was just
they've ever
basically,
done.
check this out. It cost us billions.
Yeah, their little announcement was like, we just spent 1.2 bill.
Yeah,
And
Well,
they
that's
didn't
what I
even
mean, they
spend
didn't
it
have a
all on
choice
the first
because-
series.
It appeared in their financials basically, so they had no choice but admit they were doing it. But it wasn't done on stage with a thing; it was done just through announcements. I'm not sure Amazon in the past have ever done the big on stage announcements for anything really, except maybe this Boys season 2. I think they did at one of the Comic Cons. I remember them having all the actors on the stage for that, but I don't think that was the first season.
I don't think so either.
I'm not even sure they did for the second, because I think it would have been during COVID. So anyway, my point is, I don't think Amazon have done a lot of that in the past.
But I'm kind of on the thought process that they might have to, and they kind of realize that too after Rings of Power, because letting it just get announced in the way it did immediately let people's brains just go awry, and they didn't necessarily. They never had the time to take control of the narrative after getting it. They were like, all right, well, we're spending the time money on it. And then everyone's like, oh, you're spending money on Lord of the Rings? Like, good for you. What about story? And we got what we got.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. We got what we got.
Well, Popcorn Powers just made a point there that brings me back to the emails I've had off MGM. And that is what Rings of Power did. They did this through influencers and YouTube channels. They tried to get a load of YouTubers on side, and it backfired quite badly. And then they email me. And it's like, and I don't know if Gate World and other people have had emails, but I imagine they will at some point. So maybe that's what they're doing again. But it didn't work for Rings of Power. But Rings of Power is a different magnitude. Stargate, we all adore Stargate here. The Rings of Power thing is... A Ring of Power isn't that. They won't spend anything like them. But the problem with Ring of Power was as well. The problem was the way it got announced. They announced that £1 billion thing, and they never got away from that. It followed them. That's what happened with Stargate again.
Yeah, that was the narrative. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was always a problem.
But an example of budgets killing things.
And I don't think that's going to be the problem. If anything, it'll go the other way. But guys, thank you so much for for coming on a Wednesday evening when you've all been hard at work and things, and obviously not me. I've just been emailing people all day, so people might have died. And
that's what I do.
Sorry,
I just email people. That's all I do.
Yeah, that's what I do mostly as well.
I
actually have to make sure
every
people
now
have
and then.
I have to actually make sure people are looked after. It's a pain in the neck. I say when you care as little about people as I do, it's quite. I shouldn't have gone into this job. I should have been like a bin man or something. It was a mistake. So when you're a heartless monster like me, I love people. Fuck you guys. Nobody took my. Nobody was like, Jamie, but you're so nice. You're like, you care about people. Fuck you.
I plead the fifth.
Anyway,
I was thinking that explains a lot. But,
Fuck you, Matthew. That's going to be our next t-shirt. Fuck you, Matthew. I'm sorry.
Great, you guys are going home.
Yeah.
I also noticed that when you haven't got a shirt on your merch that actually says "Shut Up, Matt."
We did design one, didn't we? But I couldn't get it on the damn shirt right.
It was
like the Star Trek-y logo-y thing, and Matt designed a really nice one, but it didn't fit in the shirt right, so I couldn't use it, and then I forgot about it. But
if no shirts, we just need mugs, so then you can just raise it to the camera.
I need to get at the very least the team a Shut Up Matt mug.
Can someone CGI something on this?
Yeah.
Perfect.
What we're going to do is have the mug, and then it's going to just have the words.
Oh dear. You heard about Bambi, didn't you, Matt?
Oh dear.
What? This is my missus's cup, but it's the biggest one we own, so I like it.
Oh,
I've got a pint glass from Sports Direct. A massive mug like this big. It's a Harris would love it because it's enormous. I can barely lift it.
Is it a Sports Direct mug?
Yeah, I love my Sports Direct mug. No, sorry, my Sports Direct one's broken. It's just a Union Jack one now, but it's like the size of my head. It's amazing. I think we have a shut up mat on one side and a butt plug on the other side.
No, I'm not having my name on anything with butt plugs. No.
Is that the butt plug shaped like
a lifted up this bigger butt plug? Davey, thank you so much. Like always, appreciate the hard work days put in every day. Thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, literally people in my hometown died today because I couldn't be asked to do my job properly. But I'm here for you to talk about Stargate. So that's the important thing. They didn't.
Next week on Sidetrack, Jay is having a formal disciplinary at work, so he cannot join us.
and the evidence against him
involved.
is our video. Failed t-shirt slogans. You can enter my gate anytime. Well, I did send oh God, my name's gone out of my head. Shelley. God, thank you. Jesus Christ, I feel so bad. That through the orifice joke, forgetting she doesn't actually like Stargate and I had no clue what I was talking about. So she thought I was just sending her a slogan about her orifice on no fucking clue.
She went totally along with it though, which was hilarious.
That's quite good. Stargate underwear with a puddle jumper going through there. That's quite good. I quite like that. Puddle jump on the back. Once more through the old orifice. That's what I said. That's what was on it. Anyway.
At least it's not a broad symbiote.
Thank you so much. We'll be back on Sunday at some point to talk Star Wars. I am at the caravan, so we might be a bit late, guys, if you don't mind. But I'll let you know on the day. Great friend of the channel. I think I can announce this. Jenny Stiven is going to be on the channel in a couple of weeks. It was hopefully going to be next week, but she's a busy lady, so it'll be within a couple of weeks. We're hoping we might be able to announce something quite exciting this week, but we'll see. If it happens, if it pulls off. Other than that,
Leaky 1-3.
Yep. What? I don't know. So we got some good stuff coming up though. Anyway, so good stuff coming up in the next few weeks. And then if Stargate gets announced, immediately message me because I will go live immediately. Because you know it's going to get announced either when I'm asleep or not at my phone. It's going to. I check my phone. I'm so paranoid at the moment. I check my phone constantly, waiting for comments. It's happened. And obviously it hasn't yet. But I just know the second I'm away from my phone for 5 minutes. This weekend, I'll be off my phone virtually the whole weekend. It's bound to happen.
You need a pair of them smart glasses. You need a pair of them smart glasses that link to your phone. You've got the little heads-up display and
constant stream of like news and shit.
It'll be so much better for the Man U games as well.
No, it would. No, I don't know. Not at the moment. That's what makes me sad.
He'd always be crying.
Don't worry, Jay. I'm a supporter of Man U.
Good man. I would be walking.
I've been to Old Trafford,
screaming swear words. People will be walking past me going, "Did you just call me?" And I'm just watching the football score go. Anyway, guys, no, seriously, thank you so much. We are going to talk about Star Wars show, Jerome, at the weekend on Sunday. We will be talking Star Wars.
Laura is correct, though.
On the loo. You want me?
I said Laura is correct, though. Totally correct.
I will be on the loo. If I'm on the loo when it happens,
he'll be on the loo, or he'll finally have a commode.
Yeah. Well, which is necessary. I don't need to
whip your phone out and go live anyway. So
I read. That's when I read all my stories and things. So if it happens when I'm on the loo, I'll know instantly. I'll be online within like 2 minutes. If it happens when I'm not on the loo, is the problem. The wife is always like, "Why have you been in the toilet for 45 minutes?" And I'm like, "Because I've been reading about Stargate." And you leave me alone. I'm on the toilet. So I love being married. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Let's say goodnight. I say we had over 100 people watching us at one point this evening, which is brilliant. I'm so glad that you guys keep coming back to talk to us about Stargate, and we will. Melvin, thank you so much for your first live. You've been an absolute legend. Thank you very much, sir.
Be great.
We will definitely have you back, even though the comment section's been a bit light because you've been missing. But if you could next time make comments.
Well, even without me, they did mention the BPs.
Thank you very much. And we were going to do some polls today, but I got so excited about everything I forgot. But, yeah, we'll do it next time. So
I said I'd do it,
guys,
didn't I? And then I forgot.
I forgot. But thank you so much, everybody, and say bye-bye. We'll see you next week.
Adios.
Ciao.